What's up, everybody? Brothers, sisters, psychonauts, and seekers of truth. It is Ananka, and welcome to my bazaar. Today, I have a DXM chirp report for you. The title of this chirp report is This Could Change Everything, and was submitted to Erowid in 2004 by the user Luke. With all that being said, let our story begin. First, let me begin by saying that I am a very experienced DXM user who has been using DXM for several years. I quit for a while and used other psychedelics like intense tryptamines. After using very intense psychedelics for so long after quitting DXM for many months, I've started experiencing certain symptoms of psychosis, like seeing faces and eyes lunge out at me while taking very low doses of psychedelics. Low doses of psychedelics then started becoming extremely intense. Then these hallucinations would sometimes be seen before I would go to sleep without taking anything, and they would be accompanied by paranoia. After experiencing these psychotic symptoms, I stopped using any psychedelics other than opiates. And the reason that I first initially quit using DXM is because I thought it lost its magic. With my tolerance for some reason lowered with psychedelics, my tolerance with DXM has also been lowered. I would like to say that this is my first DXM trip for about a year now. And after this DXM trip, these hallucinations stopped for a few days. I experienced no psychotic episodes similar to any of the kind I've previously had with the tryptamines or phenethylamines while on DXM. Lunging faces, eyes, and paranoia went away. So, the results I've come up with is that I will only use dissociatives to trip from now on. Now, an odd coincidence added up to odder coincidences, which led to another great encounter with the DXM molecule. After a doctor's visit for a sore throat, and an unsuccessful attempt to get some codeine cough syrup, I ran into the drugstore and bought an 8-ounce bottle of generic Tussin maximum strength, 705 milligrams, I believe. I kept this purchased bottle in the back of my mind for the time that I come off of all opiates that I've been taking. So, a warm 77-degree day, an odd day that came out of nowhere this time of year, presented to me the great opportunity for my travel. Down the hatch went the syrup, in one long chug. Stomach discomfort for about 2 hours. However, when that let up, came the most wonderful effects that I haven't experienced with DXM for over a year now. I found myself lying on my bed, unable to move and unbelievably stoned. I didn't think experiencing this level of a DXM trip at this dose was possible for me anymore. The enhancement I've experienced from my first ever DXM trips did not manifest. The great visual distortion and the more detailed effects that usually used to accompany these did not present themselves. But I am in no place whatsoever to complain, since I've gotten far more mileage out of this travel than I ever thought that I would. I've caught her essence once again. I've known her again. So, there was only positive to speak of, and greater realizations. The opiate withdrawal symptoms were completely gone. One thing that I do remember is that I went into this trip with a completely open mind, not knowing what to expect, which is a very honest thing that I need to remember to do from now on. After the stomach discomfort went away, I was left with pure energy. My vision became narrow, and I could only see in front of me. Then the time went and went. I found myself on the second plateau, telling my grandmother that I didn't have any control over what I was doing. Well, I went outside with my dog and went to the place that I normally go when I am like this, up by this tree that overlooks fields in the warm, sunny weather. It was beautiful to feel the warm air again this time of year. As I walked up there, I was completely enchanted by the sun on everything, on the weeds and on the grounds. The sky was blue with such white clouds. One thing that always messes things up when I'm like this: the people riding dirt bikes in my yard. They would wonder who the guy is lying on the ground. Now, I wasn't paranoid, but I guess I was to some degree. I wouldn't be able to say anything more than hello without giving myself away. Anywho, besides their inconvenience, I noticed the second plateau effects very hard out there. The people on their bikes weren't coming around, and my trip was really smooth. I couldn't remember what just happened as soon as I forgot what was already happening. I was enjoying DXM's second plateau like I haven't felt it for a very long time. I didn't think I would ever be able to know the second plateau ever again. I sat with my dog under this tree, and I saw somebody running around the swamps beyond the fields in the distance. She was female, dressed in white. I noticed her as I lied there, amazed with how messed up I was. I had thoughts of my early childhood memories, about the older people that my mom knew when I was little that drank cough syrup. Strange scenarios about these people who came in and out of my life, contributing a memory into my life that possessed one thing: cough syrup, or DXM, or someone drinking cough syrup. All of these abstract memories came through my mind that related to each other, with DXM connecting each one. And I once again find myself realizing that DXM has always known me, in some way, through all my time I've been here. Somehow, DXM has been a part of many things, if not everything. All of these memories added up to what I noticed around me, that what I was experiencing kept starting over as soon as I recognized I was experiencing it. When I was younger, a shaman who worked with DXM gave me a reading. Ever since then, I've tried to figure out how this man knew every detail of my life that unfolded ever since he read me. Something that I heard him communicate whenever he read me is that he knows that I have to drink cough syrup sometime in my life. What he said there was a mystery to me. I didn't know what he meant, but I think I know now. The way that memories unfold on DXM usually add up to one thing connecting them, which is DXM. This makes sense, since he knew everything about me that didn't happen yet. He probably connected my future with the DXM I experienced in the future, with other factors and techniques as well, I imagine. But DXM is a very psychic substance. This is probably the most important thing that I've learned, along with something else I have learned, which I will get to later. I heard a dirt bike coming, so I headed back home. As I headed back with my dog, my paranoia about having to encounter anyone increased as I heard the motor of the dirt bike coming closer and getting louder, until I felt he was right next to me. Now, this is the part where I think I went into a psychotic episode. This experience is in no way similar to the ones that I have described before. I believe that this was purely an effect of the DXM. I was too afraid to look to my side because I was walking so fast. I just wanted to get away from this dirt bike. But as my fear increased with the loud engine noise that was louder, I just got a picture in my mind of the wheel of the dirt bike in the grass next to me, getting closer and closer with the noise. I kept walking really fast until it went away. My dog felt it too. She was obviously as scared as I was because she was pulling me so hard. The trip I experienced was that dirt bike wheel chasing me and the loud engine noise. I don't even know if a dirt bike was there because I never saw it. It was only a picture in my mind that I was running from. If a dirt bike really was there, I probably did look pretty strange. Well, I got into my house and couldn't find anything to do for a while. So since it was getting a little dark outside, I decided to take my dog out for a walk again, back to the place I was at earlier. When we get there, I don't even remember going or being there most of the time. I see my dog and try sensing what she is sensing. I notice that my sense of smell is incredible. This is something I have never noticed while I was on DXM before, is that my sense of smell is marvelous. However, I don't think that this enhanced smell happened because I was trying to sense what my dog was sensing. I really couldn't perceive anything very much different like my dog might perceive. I think that I noticed my sense of smell enhanced because I decided to pay attention to it, and it was from the DXM. I was still incredibly messed up, and it was dark outside. Then came the slight rain, and then the thunder and lightning. My dog was getting very scared, and as I thought about it more, I was too. We were in no place to be during a thunderstorm. We were under a tree, on top of a hill, next to a railroad track under a tree. The sky was flashing to the point where I was blinded for a moment until it lit back up again. Trying to get my dog unleashed from a tree, she got her leash stuck around a smaller tree that seemed to take forever to get her unwrapped from. This seemed to all be an intense way of our imagination getting to the best of us. I tried to stay calm, but she was whimpering and scared, which made me scared. It seemed to be more than just a coincidence that it was getting difficult to get out of there, because it seemed to take so long with so many obstacles. Anyhow, we made it home. Once again, my dog pulled me most of the way. We got inside, and my trip gradually came all the way down. I watched television with my grandmother and sat through some of the things she watches, since it seemed okay. That night, going to sleep was hard to do, since my mind was still very stimulated. This is when I noticed something I have never noticed before. I was reading something about out-of-body experiences, but I had shunned the little bit that I've read. I have been doing DXM for years, but never thought that I have had anything that I would consider to be an out-of-body experience. Something like that would be incredible. I remembered William White's FAQ that mentioned something about being a disincarnate entity when you were experiencing DXM. And then I remembered that Carlos Castaneda describes shifts of the assemblage point, which is where perception is assembled. I believe that this is what happens on DXM, is that you experience a chemically altered shift of the assemblage point. This is greatly supported in many ways if you compare many things that Castaneda writes to experiencing effects of dissociatives. And Carlos Castaneda suggests in many ways that an ultimate goal of existing would be to evolve into an inorganic being. That idea, combined with William White's FAQ's idea, which stated something about being a disincarnate entity while you were on DXM, leading to something else. All of this was going through my mind as I lied there trying to sleep. And as I paid attention to the lingering effects of the DXM, I did notice that I had a sense that I was slightly hovering outside of my body from the normal after effects. I have always thought that the assemblage point did in fact shift when you use DXM, but I have always considered an out-of-body experience to be whenever you weren't associated with your body whatsoever. When I noticed this effect, an effect I've always felt on DXM, I did perceive information through my body, but I wasn't completely associated with my body to some measure. Therefore, I have been having what could be defined as an out-of-body experience for all of this time with DXM, but I haven't acknowledged this phenomena like I did that night. It honestly is an out-of-body experience with DXM, which is why I suppose DXM is called a dissociative. I just never considered that perceiving information through the body would be categorized as an out-of-body experience. However, the detachment from the body greatly dominates the initial sensory information processed into the body. The detached information experienced is the closest thing to an out-of-body experience that is probably possible, if you would consider it to be an out-of-body experience. And for that matter, why not consider it to be an out-of-body experience? Why take anything so awesome away from what something so great like DXM does? Anyhow, I ended up tossing and turning with these ideas from 1 a.m. until 5 a.m., and then got some good sleep finally. I am very grateful that the magic of my favorite drug was felt again. Another idea I had is that, on a large scale, I'd say that with DXM's availability in every supermarket throughout just about the entire planet, I wouldn't be surprised that the people who make its availability possible are aware that DXM might possibly contribute to the evolution of human beings in general. Why else would it be so available, other than what it's marketed for? There might perhaps be something more to it. Alright, everyone. That is the end of our story. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Share with us your DXM experiences down in the comments below. Check out the other videos and playlists on my channel, and I will see you in the next one, fam. Deuces.